Harvey was on.
Vitiated?
Without objection.
Thank you. Mr. President, I think I will shock nobody by telling you that I disagree with almost every policy that President Trump has brought forth. No, I do not believe we should throw 23 million Americans off of health insurance and give hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 2%. No, I happen to believe that at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, it is high time for the wealthiest people in this country and for large, profitable corporations to start paying their fair share of taxes. No, I do not believe, as President Trump does, that we should cut Pell Grants and food stamps and after-school programs and Medicaid and nutrition programs for pregnant women and heating assistance programs. I believe that in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we must protect those who are most vulnerable. And Mr. President, no, I do not believe, as President Trump does, that climate change is a hoax. I believe that it is the greatest environmental crisis facing our planet, and that it is already causing devastating harm throughout our nation and throughout the world. And on it goes. There's very little in public policy that I agree with the President. But there is one area where my disagreement with President Trump goes much deeper than public policy. And the truth is that every president in recent history, including conservative presidents like George W. Bush, liberals like Barack Obama, understood that one of the prime functions of being President of the United States is to bring the people of our country together, whether you're black, or whether you're white, or whether you're Latino, or whether you're Asian American, whether you're Native American. Every president has instinctively understood that one of the prime responsibilities of a president is to bring our people together as proud Americans. Unfortunately and tragically, this is something that Donald Trump does not understand. And at a time when this country faces so many serious crises, whether it is the high cost of health care, whether it's climate change, whether it is the proliferation of low-wage jobs and a starvation minimum wage, whether it is the huge national debt that we face, whether it is inadequate educational opportunities, whether it's a broken criminal justice system, instead of bringing our people together to address those important issues and try to solve them, what this president is doing uniquely in modern history is trying to divide us up by the color of our skin, by our sexual orientation, by the country that we were born in, by our religion, instead of bringing us together to solve the many problems that we face as a people. He is trying to divide us up in order to gain political support from a segment of our population. He is trying to divide us up based on the color of our skin, which is what his attacks on affirmative action are all about. He is trying to divide us up based on religion, which is what his Muslim ban is all about. We're not supposed to like Muslims. He is trying to divide us up based on sexual orientation, which is what his attacks on transgender individuals serving in the military is about. We're supposed to hate transgender people, discriminate against them. And he is trying to divide us up based on our country of origin and our immigration status. In my view, Trump's decision to end the DACA program for some 800,000 young people is the cruelest and most ugly presidential act in the modern history of this country. I cannot think of one single act which is uglier and more cruel. These are 800,000 young people, often exemplary young people, the kind of kids we are proud of. These are kids who know this country, the United States of America, as their only home. In fact, many of these young people know English as their only language. These are young people who today are in college, they are in law school, they are in medical school, and they are proudly serving in the United States military. And what this president has done is to take away the legal status by which these young people can work and find jobs, go to school, and live without fear. If they don't have that legal status, it means that any time they walk down the street, they are frightened that they could be arrested and deported from this country and separated from their families. This act on Donald Trump's part is an abomination, and Congress must reject Trump's action and pass DACA into law. And Mr. President, this is exactly what the American people want us to do. A recent poll, I think it came out yesterday, done by Morning Consult and Politico, reports that 76% of those who were polled said the government should allow immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children to remain here. 76%. 84% of Democrats support the Dreamers having legal status, while 69% of Republicans surveyed also favor such a policy. In another poll in April 2017, 73% of Trump supporters said Dreamers should be allowed to stay in the United States and become legal residents. In other words, and I say this to the young people who are in DACA, please do not think for one moment that you are being deserted by the people of this country. You are not. You are being attacked by a president of the United States who chooses to divide us up, and you are today's victims. Tomorrow, it may well be another minority group. So, Mr. President, this is a pivotal moment in American history, and we need to tell those young people that we will not see their legal status removed. We will not see them thrown out of the only country that they have ever known. We need strong bipartisan support to pass the DREAM Act, and I hope that we will do that as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I would yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.